I call the meeting to order. Please stand for silent reflection and pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a roll call here.
Mr. King. Mrs. King.
Here.
Mr. O'Brien.
Here.
Mr. Schuler.
Here.
Mr. Tinkin.
Here.
Mr. Vorbach.
Here.
Mayor Mechanical.
Here. Please read the Open Public Meeting Act.
Yes, pursuant to the requirements of New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting was included in the annual meeting notice, which is filed in the office of the Borough Clerk, posted on the Borough website in the municipal building, published as a legal notice in the CoStar newspaper, and mailed to those requesting notice and providing payment in accordance with Borough policy.
Thank you. I need a motion to approve the agenda with one revised resolution. A motion and a second.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Do you have any questions on the agenda? A roll call, Jeff?
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach?
Yes.
Thank you. I need a motion to approve the minutes for January 12th, 2015 Borough Council meeting.
I'll make the motion.
We have a second.
I'll second.
And do you have any questions? Roll call.
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach?
I'll abstain.
Thank you. No presentations at this time, no scheduled public hearing. Move to the public comment section. You may step forward, give your name and address, and speak on any agenda item you like. Seeing no hands, I'd like to close the public comment section.
Make that motion. Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Discussion items? None at this time. Reports? We can move right to the council reports. We'll start with-
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, Jake. that's-
Right, I jumped the gun.
What happened?
You're good.
You good?
You're good.
Thank you. Councilman O'Brien?
Yeah, I just make some announcements about the proposed budget schedule.
Okay.
The first presentation of the budget to the council is planned for March 9th. That's a regular meeting.
Thank you.
The review of that would be the next meeting, March 16th, which would be a special meeting, actually.
Special.
The introduction of the budget then would, provided that things go well, be March 23rd, again, a regular meeting.
Okay.
The publication would be no later than April 16th, and provided we keep to that schedule, then the public hearing on the budget would be Monday, April 27th, another regular meeting. So the only special meeting would be the budget review on March 16th.
March 16th. All the others are regular meetings.
Yeah, that's the proposed schedule.
Thank you.
And again, it's dependent on things going well.
Okay, thank you.
I like that, being optimistic, I like that.
Mr. Schuler?
Yeah, I'd like to comment that I feel that Public Works did a great job cleaning the streets after this last storm. They did use something like 60 ton of salt, but we got the job done. I'd like to comment that Keith Dreyer, our equipment man, was out and active. He was called out for a couple mechanical problems, got the mechanical problems fixed and the equipment up and running. I would also urge that all residents sign up for the reverse 911, people that have it. This system allows us to let you know when you have to get your car off the street and different emergencies that are occurring in town. And I would also request that the residents with snow blowers stop blowing the snow back in the street. It's very fine coming out of your snow blower. It compacts, the car goes over it, it turns to ice. And the Public Works can't get that patch up. And it makes the street a little dangerous for the other cars. That's all I got.
Thank you, Jim. Councilwoman King?
I don't have anything but.
Councilman Tom?
Nothing at this time, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Tinkin?
Nothing at this time, Mayor.
And Councilman Champion?
The only item that I have that's going to come up later on is for the raw water contract renewal, but I want to thank Mr. Delaney for his hard work on that and record keeping for being able to analyze our water consumption and find a real number so we're not paying for water we don't use.
Okay, so you'll be discussing that too. Thank you. All right, well, I think that's probably gonna be next on the agenda. We have the reports, and Jay, is there anyone there you really want, other than the raw water?
Well, two items, Mayor. The correspondence from GC Stewart Associates regarding the NJDOT application. That's additional information, or I should say supplemental information, that's a follow-up to the previous discussion the council entertained back in October, November regarding the subdivision on North Lake Drive. And I know that Mr. McLean has had recent conversations with the attorney for the applicant, and I expect that we'll be seeing even more information forthcoming. I'm not sure the timeline.
Okay.
I did speak to the attorney for the applicant today. There was information that Mr. Keneally had requested some months ago that we never got, as far as I know. They said that they're now going to supply us with that information. The main issue at this point, I think, is whether or not the town wants to execute the forms that they need for the curb cut from the state of New Jersey. And at this point, I would not recommend that we go forward with that until we see this additional information.
Thank you, Jay.
And Mayor, regarding the New Jersey Water Supply Authority correspondence regarding the raw water contract renewal, as Mr. Campion has indicated, the borough currently operates or purchases raw water from the New Jersey Water Supply Authority pursuant to a contract that is about to expire later this year. That is a 25-year contract, and I think as most of you are aware, it has been mentioned repeatedly during, at least during my short tenure here, that it's a contract that provides a use it or lose it arrangement. We pay for the 425,000 gallons of water a day, whether we use it or not. And we are in the process of compiling the information that is necessary for the Water Supply Authority to move forward with the application. And we do expect that at our next regular meeting, there will be a full presentation to the council with charts, diagrams, information. But the goal would be to identify the appropriate level of raw water purchase requirements to satisfy the needs of the borough that we cannot provide through our groundwater supply sources pursuant to our allocation permit from the state DEP.
So we're going to work hard for this. Okay.
Yes, we are. There's a separate component of this. The raw water that's purchased from the Water Supply Authority is just one component. That raw water is then treated at the SLUA treatment plant, and we purchase the finished water through that operation. Taken together, both the raw water purchases and the finished water purchases, those are between $500,000 and $600,000 a year in our water utility costs. So there's an opportunity for us to look very closely at our needs, our projected needs, before we renew the contract.
Okay. Chris, do you have anything else you want to add?
No, that was everything.
Okay, thank you.
And just, can I, and also the reports and correspondences, where's that property that was listed for those 3 ordinance for the Wall Township? I mean, there's a map included, but it's somewhere on Route 35, and I just was wondering why we were getting those notices.
How long
Right next to the avenue.
They took a very broad,
What?
they took a very broad brush as to the notice requirements. Yes, there's a rezoning that is down on Route 35, nowhere close to us.
Yeah, it's not like the piece of property that's on like off of Valere Road, right, that's getting rezoned commercial or something.
Four Winds, you know where Four Winds is?
Yeah,
That's where it's
okay, thanks.
It's there in the secret.
So, it is a broad brush. And it really doesn't affect Spring Lake Heights too much.
Not by a long shot.
All right, good.
It's the only identifying street on the map besides the State Highway 35
Yeah.
is Pennsylvania Avenue, some distance.
Okay.
I think Jay included that extra 8 pages of Wall Town.
All I saw was.
I just wanted to make sure that I understood where the property was, that it wasn't, like the map was 50 years old and we used to have it, Warren Avenue used to be Pennsylvania Avenue or something. All right, thanks.
Thank you, Tom. Anyone else have any discussion? I just have one thing I'd like to ask you, Jay, on the Cablevision franchise fees. Is that going up or down?
That is an increase from what we received last year. I don't have the number in front of me, although that will be part of our budget discussion.
Okay, that's good, thank you, Jay. There's no ordinance introduction at this time. We do have a few resolutions we have to vote on. We'll run through them. First would be Resolution R 2015-31, approving the use of the community center. I believe this was for Fairway View?
Wickham Manor.
Wickham Manor, thank you. The Wickham Manor. I need a motion in a second.
Make that motion.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call, Jay?
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution R 2015-32, confirming appointment of Board of Adjustments for Mr. Ray Miller and Ms. Susan Laushi. One would be an unexpired 4-year term, and the other alternate member, number 2.
I'll make that motion.
Motion and a second.
I'll second.
Any question? Roll call, Jim?
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin?
Abstain.
Mr. Vorbach?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution R 15-33, authorizing cancellation of tax balance. Need a motion and a second?
I'll make a motion.
We have a second.
I'll second it.
Do you have any questions?
Yeah, Jay. It says that the overpayments less than $10 are uneconomical to collect and so on. You got 1 year for $5.25. Okay, that qualifies.
That's total. Next page. 2 pages after is the breakdown.
Yeah, attached is the breakdown. Those are actually quarterly totals, so
Quarter. Okay.
in the one you're referring to, let's see, I actually don't have how many there are, but there are at least 50.
Oh, okay.
50 that
Okay.
in total amount to
Okay.
quarterly.
All right. But thanks.
Anything else? Roll call, Jim?
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution R 2015-34, authorizing refund of overpay or canceled taxes. Need a motion and a second?
Make that motion.
I'll second.
Any questions? This is for a Vietnam veteran, which is disabled.
Disabled, yes.
Roll call, Jay?
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution R 2015-35, authorizing tax lien redemption. Oh, no, I can't find
It's okay, don't worry. That's why you moved me next time.
it. I can't believe it. Roll call, Jay?
I'm sorry.
Need a motion and second.
Yes.
Oh, we have a
Motion and
motion and a
second.
second, I'm sorry.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Mr.
Any
Campion?
Roll call, Jay?
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution R 2015-36, authorizing the execution of shared service between Wall for the welfare director. Need a motion and a second?
Make that motion.
A second.
Any questions? Roll call, Jay.
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution R 2015-37, approving the payment claims set forth on the February 5th, 2015 bill list.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. Any questions? Roll call, Jay?
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Horbach?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution R 2015-38, appointing Eileen Eisenberger as the Borough Representative to the Shore Community Alliance.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Any questions? Roll call, Jay?
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Horbach?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Eisenberg is down in the audience. We want to thank you for your hard work. Thank you on there too, Eileen. Thank you. Resolution R 2015-39, approving the Shore Municipal Alliance grant for fiscal year 2016. Need a motion and a
I'll
second?
make that motion.
Second?
Any questions? Roll call, Jay?
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Horbach?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution R 2015-40, approving the issuance of alcoholic beverage license to the Jersey Shore Chamber of Commerce.
And Mayor, just for the record, distributed separately was a revised copy of that that corrected a typographical error, and that's the green sheet in front of you.
Thank you, Judge. Need a motion and a second?
Revised?
On the revised, yes.
I'll make that motion.
Any questions?
I'll second.
Any questions? Roll call, Judge?
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Horbach?
Yes.
Resolution R 2015-41, authorizing tax lien redemption payment. Need a motion and a second.
Make that motion.
I'll second.
Any questions? Roll call, Judge?
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Horbach?
Yes.
Resolution R 2015-42, authorizing execution of commodity resale agreement with the County of Monmouth.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Do we have any questions?
This is a bulk purchasing agreement, is this what this is?
Yes. And this provides us with a secondary means of supply for salt.
Thank you. Anything else? Roll call, Jay.
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Horbach?
Yes.
Thank you. R 2015-43, approving the use of the community center.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
St. Catherine's.
Okay. Thank you. We have a second?
Yeah, Jimmy.
Any questions? Roll call, Jay.
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Horbach?
Yes.
Thank you. I think that was it, correct? This morning's next meeting, we have the public comment section. You may speak on any item you like. Step forward, give your name and address.
Rita Murphy, Emergency Management. Some time ago, Jay Delaney and I participated in a conference call with the county in which they are going to be holding meetings for residents affected by the new flood insurance maps. And I'm here to now tell you those meetings have been set, and I'm going to read the press release as they say it. Southern Monmouth County Flood Risk Open House hosted by FEMA, Region 2, will be held on February 19th from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Manasquan Elks Lodge. Updates to the flood hazard maps, known as flood insurance break maps or FIRBs, for Monmouth County will be discussed. These were preliminary issued to Monmouth County and incorporated areas on January 31st, 2014. The FIRBs identified the area that had flood risk in Monmouth County. Insurance companies use these to determine flood rates for buildings, and their continents and lenders utilize this information to determine the flood insurance requirements. Monmouth County residents and property owners are encouraged to learn more about their flood risk and preliminary flood maps by looking up what's my BFE tool at www.region2coastal.com. FEMA, the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection, and Monmouth County Office of Emergency Management will be available to answer flood risk and insurance questions and to explain these preliminary flood maps during the open house. Again, the location is going to be the Manasquan Elks Lodge, number 253417 Stockton Lake Boulevard in Manasquan. There's no appointment required. You can just walk in at any time between the hours of 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. You're encouraged, if you decide to attend, to bring your elevation certificates and flood insurance policies to find out how they might be affected by these changes. Information on any previous disaster-related recovery efforts or any of your outstanding insurance claims you may have as a result will not be discussed at this particular venue. It is important that you consider attending if your property is currently mapped within the special flood hazard area, also SLH, and if you currently have flood insurance. If you're not sure of your risk, you can visit the FEMA government portal or call the FEMA Map Exchange at 1-877-FEMA-MAP or 1-877-336-2627. If you're in a high-risk flood zone, you may be required by your lender to carry flood insurance, and the FEMA staff will be able to assist you and help you understand these changes. And Monmouth County communities are required to adopt updated maps to continue participating in the National Flood Insurance Program, which makes flood insurance available to the community. Again, for additional information on flood hazard risk, you can visit www.region2coastal.com. And there's also going to be a poster here. There's a very much shorter version of all of that. That'll be posted at the side on the bulletin.
What was the date, Rita? February?
It is February 19th, 2015, and between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. There's also one for what they call the northern region, but that's on February 20th. You know, if you live in more northern Monmouth County, but this is for residents in what they call the coastal region. Southern region. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pete.
Pat Crippen, 564 Atlantic Avenue. You just voted on an agenda item for the social services for the welfare. I think that had been Neptune in the past. Can you talk about that a little bit? Is that a benefit to the community? There's some people who do take advantage of those services, and I know that they would be interested in having a little more information about that. So I think that's something that needs a little bit of public discussion.
For the
So,
welfare,
no.
the welfare service?
Yeah, because I know Carolyn Sharrock had done it, she retired, then it went to Neptune, there was never any discussion about that contract when it jumped over, now it looks like it's going to Wall, so, you know, if somebody could talk about that, that would be really good. Thank you.
Would you like me to address that? That had been the subject of executive sessions going back into November and December. The borough previously, until December 31st, was actually a part-time employee that was our direct employee. That individual also served Neptune City, West Long Branch, and Avon. All of those functions were operated out of the Neptune City office, municipal building. That person retired effective December 31, and with that, the borough looked at a couple of different alternatives and ended up entering into, and what this resolution authorizes is a shared service agreement with Wall Township. Previously, the employee was paid as a direct employee of the borough in the amount of about $6,500 a year plus additional costs. This is a straight shared service agreement with Wall Township in the amount of $5,000. This actually improves the services for our local residents that may be in need of public assistance, as the Wall Township location is much closer than the Neptune City office, and we have seen a reduction in costs.
Thanks, Jay.
Thanks, Jay. Yeah. That's it. Anything else? Need a motion to close the public comment?
I'll make that motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
I need a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion.
You have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.